Hello and welcome back. We are talking about Tress of the Emerald Sea by Mr. Brandon Sanderson, a Cosmere novel. Now, I've read some Sanderson books in the past, the Stormlight Archive, Warbreaker, Mistborn, and a couple of the other ones, his novels, and I very much enjoy his work. I'm not as knowledgeable or really in depth with what the Cosmere is. I know it's like everything's all connected, and but I'm not sure exactly how. So if you're in that boat, maybe you know of it that he's got this Cosmere going on. Don't worry, you can read this book without having to know any of that. So what is this book about? We're going to do non-spoilers first, and then we'll go into spoilers. So it's about a girl on an island, and a boy on an island. Girl loves boy, boy loves girl, but they don't tell each other this, and maybe in fact they don't truly know it until the boy leaves the island, because the boy is of nobility and his parents take him away. Now he tells the girl, don't worry, I will be back and I will deliver you some gifts along my way, so you know that I'm still out there and I'm still thinking of you. So these gifts come in to the girl, but one day they stop. No more gifts. So what does the girl do? She sets out to find the boy. And then she becomes a pirate. Yeah, that's it. She becomes a pirate. This little window washing girl from this island becomes a pirate. Now that's very, very oversimplifying it. This book, if you've read other Sanderson books, this book is in a very different voice. This book feels like a Terry Pratchett novel. I read a few of the Discworld novels, and it's kind of that silliness, that kind of sing-song. He's like, oh, by the way, did I tell you that? Because the narrator, the person who tells the story, is in the story, but it's not our main character. They're kind of along for the ride, and they're like a little ADD. Yeah, goes off on tangents. So, which before, when I read Discworld, I didn't really care for. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get myself in the mood for that. In this one, it doesn't start off that way. It kind of slowly moves into it. Sometimes it hits a little hard, and you're just like, oh, okay. Some of those tangents get a little long. I understand some of them. He's trying to explain something, or what seems like a irrelevant story will relate to things later. So some of that you have to stick with, but other bits are just nonsense. When for example, the narrator, he grabs the girl by the hand, looks her deep in the eyes, and says, "I just ate a whole watermelon by myself, and now I have diarrhea." And she's just like, "Oh, okay." So you get a decent amount of that kind of silliness throughout. So it's not not something to be taken seriously. There are some aspects of it I wish would have been either more serious, or I don't know, a little more drawn out, interesting. I will tell you, she's out to find this boy. She becomes a pirate, and there are some fantastical elements like a dragon. They come across a dragon. There is an evil sorceress who lives on an island in the Midnight Sea. So that's kind of what you're getting into. Fantasy, yeah, fantasy-ish. Now this really hooked me because I love stories that take place on ships. I don't have a lot of experience on boats, being around boats. I can barely even swim, but I don't know what it is about stories on ships that I absolutely love. What is it? You can see there the Tide Child trilogy. Loved it. I loved it. It's the life on a ship. It's this little compact space and all the drama that goes on there. So that automatically got me. I wonder if it was just taking place on like a wagon train or something, if I would have found it as interesting. Probably not. So it gets extra points for pulling on that with me. I've got to say though, man, it was a good book, but it wasn't fantastic. Like I said, I've read maybe 9 of Sanderson's books, 2 trilogies, or not trilogies, but the Mistborn trilogy, the first 3 of the Stormlight Archive. I've been waiting for them more to come out to start reading them, more of them. Warbreaker, Elantris, and maybe another one. And probably out of everything I've read, I'd put this one at the bottom. That doesn't mean it's bad. Sanderson stuff is awesome. If you've read some of his stuff, you know it's great. So this being at the bottom of my Sanderson list doesn't mean it's terrible. It's just, yeah, I just like the other ones better. So this one, it's a very good short read. I read this thing in like 2.5 days, like 360 pages. It flies by really quick, and it's enjoyable. Now the ending, I won't spoil anything. The ending kind of fell a little flat for me. It just, maybe because you build up these expectations of what's going to happen. Oh, they're going to meet this, they're going to see this, they're going to find this, and that's it. So yeah, I would say the ending was lacking for me. But that's all I'm going to say for non-spoilers. If you've read it, please stick around for the spoiler section. If you have not read it, go read it and then come back and let me know what you think about it. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Those of you who have read it, let's talk more about it. Let's just jump right to the ending. As I said, it kind of felt flat. And I also mentioned that the Cosmere, I'm not totally in tune with it. It's been a long time since I've read a Sanderson book, and I know there's one guy. Maybe it's this guy. Is this the narrator, Hoyd, in this book? Is he the one? Is he the? Well, it says. Let me see here. Let me look at my notes even. Adam, you write the notes. You should look at them because Worldbringer is what he calls himself. Worldbringer, but he also jumps around to a bunch of the different worlds. And I don't know if did he have the same name in the Stormlight Archive? Because isn't there some guy who has like a not a fiddle, not exactly. Maybe it was a guitar. Some guy that is it named Kaladin meets out on the Shattered Plains, and he's a musician, and he's the one because I think he's also mentioned in Warbreaker. So I don't know if it's the same name, but for some reason I just thought maybe it's that guy. Maybe it's not. You can let me know down below. Like I said, I'm not totally in tune with the Cosmere, but yeah. So you've got that going on. And like I said, with him telling the story, sometimes it was okay. Obviously, with this curse where he's just like, his brains are a bit scrambled. He just goes off on these tangents that it's funny. There's a lot of funny stuff. But eventually you're just like, all right. Okay, yeah. Get back on track. But that was all right. I was very disappointed. The dragon part, right? He even like foreshadows it. He says, oh, and she will meet a dragon. I'm like, cool, a dragon. And then we get down there and it's just kind of this a battle of wits, but not really, right? Just tell me why I should choose you. And then he's just like, well, and you're progressing with technology and you'd be too strong-headed, so I'm just going to choose her. And all right, see you later. And you're like, oh, that's it? Okay. All right, see you later, dragon. And then the sorceress, she has laptops. Hoyd let that slip, but so she's not from the planet. Hoyd's not from the planet. Was it his name? Ulam is not from the planet. So this is where the Cosmere stuff, I guess, really comes in. If you're deeper into it, you would maybe recognize these people, or maybe even know who they were in other places. I don't know. So I guess maybe if I knew more about it, all that would make more sense, and I'd be like, but for this story, when you're hoping, we're gonna meet the sorceress, and it's just like a librarian, just a normal lady up in a tower with laptops all around her. You're like, well, that's kind of poopy. I had no idea that the rat was Charlie. I guess you should have known because, Charlie liked to talk and the rat liked to talk. But yeah, no idea. So that was the big surprise for me. I thought the idea of spores was really cool. The great thing with Sanderson is all these different magic systems. And now we have one that really isn't related to people, but the environment. And so that was a really cool idea. You have all these spores around, different colors that do different things, and you can work your way to be, in touch with them. Not only the midnight ones, but also the what are they called, verdant, the green ones, and control the plants, and the rose ones with the crystals. So that was a very interesting idea. I could say I would like another story with more about that and seeing what people could do with those outside of just sailing the seas. So yeah, that was really interesting. And I know this isn't the first story to do this, but it was an interesting thing at the end where, she sets out with this idea of what she wants. And then she goes to the end, she finally gets it, and then realizes, oh, that was the old me. The old me has been chasing this, but I've been changing this whole time. I've been changing. So this girl I started out as, she's kind of morphed and changed into this new person over here. That girl doesn't exist anymore. So in the end, she still wants Charlie, but what she wants from life is totally different. So I thought that was an interesting thing at the end for her to realize. Like I said, this book, it was fine. It was fine. It's not going to rank up there as like, oh my goodness, you have to read this book. It's a very good palate cleanser. Very easy if you're heavy into something, or if you're reading a series and you need to just like, all right, I need to take a break and just read something different. Like I said, this took me 2.5 days. Probably would have only taken 2 days, but I had something going on and couldn't quite read as much one day as I wanted to. So it's a very quick read. I do have his other. If you saw my July TBR video, I do have all the Secret Project books. I will be reading. Let me see if I got it here. This one. Yumi and the Nightmare Painters. My books are falling down. I'll be reading this one next because it looks awesome. The description sounds like it would be very interesting. So I'm going to check it out. After that, I'm not sure. If this one's really awesome, I might just jump into the next Secret Project book. But we'll see. I've also got another novel that I might slip in the middle of these four and try out. So that's it for Tress. Fun little story. Not too memorable for me. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.